Bertuca is a new executive director of a state agency called the Illinois Sports Facilities Authority. It's somewhat obscure, but very, very important. And Bertuca, until getting this appointment this week, had been the campaign manager and a former aide in the governor's office. Of course, Governor Pat Quinn lost in his re-election bid, and Lou Bertuca needs a job. But sometimes to the losers belong some spoils as well. And at least until Governor Bruce Rauner takes office and there's a change in the administration in Springfield, Lou Bertuca has a 2-year contract for $160,000 a year in this job at the Sports Facilities Authority. Now, I should add that before leading the $30 million failed re-election bid for the governor and before being chosen to head this $40 million a year state agency, Lou Bertuca, who was 30 years old, didn't have any experience in sports except as a quarterback for Lake Forest College before he went to work for then Lieutenant Governor Pat Quinn. And he's since risen rapidly through state government and politics to getting this plum position, which some members of the board of that agency thought should be chosen by the new governor-elect rather than the lame duck Governor Quinn. ISFA is what a lot of people call the Illinois Sports Facilities Authority. It was originally created so that they could build Comiskey Park, the new Comiskey Park, now known as U.S. Cellular Field, of course. And later on, that same agency was used to issue bonds to pay for the massive renovations that took place at Soldier Field. You know, that took this neoclassical building and turned it into what some people call a spaceship or a toilet bowl. A lot of money was borrowed by ISFA, and those bonds are supposed to be paid back with hotel tax revenue. There's a 2% hotel tax in the city of Chicago. When the economy went down in the last few years, there wasn't enough hotel tax revenue. The city and its taxpayers were on the hook and actually had to write an additional check above and beyond the usual $5 million subsidy that city kicks in. There's another $5 million a year subsidy from the state. And so it's a very important agency. But despite the fact that the city is on the hook for any shortfalls in that deal, you have to understand that 4 people on the board are appointed by the governor and 3 are appointed by the mayor. So the city has no say, even though they have all the liability. The biggest objection to picking Bertuca is lack of experience in this kind of environment. He issued a statement where he said that in the year that the Jackie Robinson West kids performed so admirably as little leaguers, he would like to expand opportunities perhaps for younger Chicagoans and younger Illinoisans to use U.S. Cellular Field. This isn't a little league stadium. This is a major league deal, and I think that it really tarnishes the governor's reputation that instead of just letting his successor take care of this, because that's what he's been elected to do, or instead of maybe having a professional search for someone with financial or stadium management ability, he takes a guy who's basically done nothing but work at his side. A young guy, we'll have to judge him, I guess, on his performance ultimately, but I think that Governor Quinn's reputation for being a reformer, which already was tarnished and perhaps discarded by many voters, judging by the fact that he lost, I think it takes a big hit when he engages in this sort of deal that's really all too familiar to people here in Illinois and in Chicago in particular.